And we are live. If you've caught this part of the video, means you've gotten the live unedited version. Even though we haven't really been editing them at all, we'll probably start doing that here soon. Of Pete's Tech Den. So this is a long play podcast. So if you're expecting like a 3-5 minute video, not gonna get that. This is usually runs 40-45 minutes. So just be aware that we'll be starting here in about 5 minutes. So just wanted to let you know that. Geeky. Yeah. Okay, looks like just getting the last few things sorted out, everything. Turn off all notifications so you don't hear those kind of things. My throat is kind of dry tonight. Make sure the computer doesn't go to sleep. Trying. Oh, I should. See that? That'll. Okay, that's good. That's the way it's gonna be tonight, I think. I'll just go this route. I think. Looks better. Looks better. Not quite perfect, but stick that. Stick it up down. We'll be right back, and then we'll start. Okie dokie, here we go. Welcome to another week of Pete's Tech Den. This is show number 46, as recorded on July 1st, 2016. This show where we talk about ways in which we can take old technology, old stuff, and reuse it and renew. Let's start that one. Let's start that over. It's been a couple weeks since I've done this. I'm only 46 times. I'm not quite all the way into it. Okay. Welcome to another week of Pete's Tech Den. This is show number 46, as recorded on July 1st, 2016. This is the show where we talk about ways in which we can take old technology, like old computers and stuff, and reuse it in new ways, and really give it kind of an extension on life. And then ways in which we can take cheap new technology and do really cool things with it. Things that a lot of times you would think, I need to buy something really expensive, this really expensive system to be able to do. And the truth is, if you're willing to put a little work into it, you don't have to. So that's what we're talking about here tonight. I kind of wanted to talk about something I'd been getting into just recently, which is Arduino. But as you may notice, the background may look a little bit like it's been shifted a little bit. I got the new setup here. Just got some stuff so I could set up a third monitor, which is really nice. Love having that extra screen real estate. And it's kind of interesting, like looking. Eventually, I'm going to set up a fourth monitor over here and kind of thinking about that. And a lot of these monitors here, like two of them are like 15-inch ones that I picked up from people who are getting rid of them for free. Didn't cost me a thing. I've got a 17-inch here that cost me I think it was $25 from I think a Goodwill or something like that. And then of course my middle one, which is 24-inch. I picked up on sale the most expensive one of them all for around $100. sometimes you can't always get everything at a good price, but I was on sale. Yeah, that was pretty good deal. Like having it. But yeah. So just recently, my brother and my father invited me to join them on this, going through this learning Arduino basics kind of tutorials. It's this kit. I actually have it. It basically says this plastic kit here. I had this sitting up here. Yeah, basically this plastic kit here. Pretty cool. You get some kind of fancy stuff in it. Lots of different things to work with. Everything from photo light sensors, temperature sensors, small LCD screen, LEDs, an ultrasonic rangefinders, stepper motors. I'm trying to think what else. I got buttons and little twist knobs, speakers, microphones, cables. I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. Basically, just got like 15 lessons, walk you through putting the different things together. Kind of the idea is that they show you kind of like, here's how this works and here how this works, and then eventually then you can kind of explore and put those things together to make different things. And so I've been kind of working my way through that. Right now we're looking at controlling LEDs, which alright, see if I get this. Okay, there. You can see this. This is something. Originally, I had it programmed up so it would sync with one light at a time. Right now, I have it set up so where it's kind of has 2 lights on at a time. Except for when it reaches the end, then it goes down to 1. Which I know was kind of fun, kind of I guess something that kind of scratches an interest that I have because I've run lights for like plays and stuff like that, and I've been exploring. It's actually this new piece of software that new to me. In QLC Plus, which is basically a free open source piece of software to control lights that you're able to DMX, that are DMX addressable. So basically, you can give them an address for DMX. And kind of, I don't know, I kind of always, when I think of DMX lights and think of that kind of stuff, I'm thinking stage lights, those kinds of things. And really, I've been watching some tutorials and found that you kind of like, no, it really is, if you can DMX them, this thing is, controlling like LED panels and pretty much any kind of lights you want to be able to control. And so, kind of super cool, fun stuff, that, just kind of like, for me, excites, my, imagination, what could be done. And then I came across, this, why aren't you? There we go. Well, it was working earlier. Here we go. This guy did a project for basically creating like an LED panel, like scrolling text. And it's really cool. Like, I'm sure you could get QLC to control this because they can do, like, with an LED panel, they can do text like this. And so, it's just kind of one of the things where it's like, Arduino, like, you can do, like, you can buy all these different components and they're not that expensive. And you know, I think they were talking about, you know, here, you know, an Arduino. I think they said it was like 5 to 10 or $5 to $15. The like the display is like $11 a foot, and stuff. Like, you can put one of these things together, and it, you know, it's not, I mean, a lot of times you can spend a lot on like an art, or on, you know, scrolling at, you know, text, you know, LED sign. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's like beginning to put things together and see like how, you know, with things like this, it's like Arduino, you know, all kinds of cool things you can do with it. Very inexpensive, as long as you're willing to do some work, which is, I mean, which I think is, you know, yes, you're saving money on things, but you're also going to be putting in work. I mean, that's kind of, I think, you know, it's kind of one of the things. I think if you go back and watch some of the things we've looked at, it's something you'll definitely see. And, you know, for me, total plus, because I don't want to spend a ton of money, but have, you know, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I don't have lots of money, but, you know, I'm willing to put some work into things and put together some pretty cool stuff. I mean, but yeah, this is something I'm really hoping to kind of try looking at putting together this this LED sign here. But there's all kinds of cool things, especially within like home automation stuff. Like, here was another one I came across, where you're looking at, you know, something to control, basically control your home from a website. This, from what I read through, this one looked like it was just kind of a demo thing. Like, as you can see here, the lights there, like that, and this. It's something. This one is kind of a demo thing, but would take a little bit more work to do it. Whereas, you know, something like this one is pretty cool. The one thing for this one is that it looked like, from when I was looking at it, like it looked like something where, like, for the light switch, is something you like put over the top of the light switch that would basically like flip the light switch, I think. But it's like this one thing, you know, I was looking at it, is like, one thing it requires you to do is like laser cutting parts and stuff. And you'd think, man, it's kind of, you know, out of your reach. But a lot of times you can find stuff like going to like a maker space, or I think in Omaha here we have like a do space, I think is what it's called. Do something, if I remember correctly. I gotten a card for it, but I haven't been there yet. Where a lot of times you can get access to scenes like that. But yeah, so there's lots of like really cool stuff to do with it. The kit that I got, here, let me just unplug that for right now, because I don't. The kit we got here, this one only cost $84. But really, it's, I mean, you get quite a bit of stuff for what you're paying for it. I mean, all kinds of stuff like fun resistors. But yeah. So, and one thing I just want to point out, like, you could really, if you really wanted to, you could go all the way through this book and not learn anything. And come out the other end no better for having gone through it. Because I mean, it's like a lot of things where it's like, if you go through it and you put very little effort into it, guess what? You're going to get a very little from it. If you go through it, and you put effort into it, then you're going to get something from it. And you're going to come out the other end with better understanding of Arduino and really armed to do some cool stuff with it. So it's all about putting effort into it. But for me, doing, doing doing like DMX. I mean, the LEDs for me, I think is where I'm interested at this point in time. Because that's the thing. It's like, I mean, there's some of the other things are like, well, maybe not so much. But the thing is, like, I mean, they give you like a fair amount of stuff for this thing. I list it right here. I'll put a link for this in the show notes. But I mean, there's all kinds of other things with different shields that you can connect to the Arduino board here. I mean, and you can do a lot of similar things with something like maybe like a Raspberry Pi. Oops. Let's see. Oh, I keep thinking camera over here. No, camera is in front of me. Still learning what I'm doing here, but Raspberry Pi, or something like the Pine 64, which I just got. I'll be probably doing unboxing of that later tonight, which is super cool because the Raspberry Pi, $35. The cheapest Pine 64 gets you is $15. And then also has a $19 version and a $29. I think it's $29. So, and then, it's one of those things where it's like, you can throw a little bit of money at this. Or this. And we'll throw it up here. And, put in a little bit of work, and you come out with stuff that are like, super cool. Right now, I'm thinking, let's build an LED sign, make it DMX addressable, and then I can control it from here. Be kind of cool. Maybe put it behind me and have it have stuff scrolling across it, doing different things. Yeah, maybe not. Or do something like maybe I can make a small one. I can stick it outside my room and it go on air, off air, on air, off air, so you'll know when I'm like recording in here. Some kind of cool things like that. Or be kind of interesting. I set it up so like when you get a new notification, text scrolls across, it tells you what your latest text message was or something like that. I mean, there's really, your imagination is your limitation. Whatever you can imagine, a lot of times, with a little bit of work, you can pull it off and bring it. And it's one of those like cool things because it's like with Arduino, like it used to be like kind of like prototyping something or creating something like that, especially with electronics and stuff, used to be, something that was left to big companies. It was them. You couldn't do anything. I mean, I don't know how, 50 years ago, I mean, they would never have imagined being able to do something like this. 50, or, I mean, even, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. It's one of those things where it's like, now, like, there's, so many tools out there like this, that allow us to, you know, explore and, be able to, kind of create, new cool things to do, and, bring, I don't know, kind of like entire products together. Even things, I mean, it comes back to, like open source and stuff like that. And I think it's one of those things where we kind of, we kind of get away from thinking about who is solving the problem, you know, kind of being, like, and just worried about solving problems. Yeah, we still, you still give, you can still go look at like the contributions and see who put in, this bug, who fixed this bug and things like that. But it's, I mean, but it's getting pushed out, to everybody. And we're allowing, other people to benefit from our contributions and stuff. Now, on the flip side of that, it still doesn't mean, it doesn't hurt to, show your gratitude for somebody who did something that helped or fixed a problem for you. Contribute back to them, because I mean, you contribute back to them, you keep them being able to do that work, and guess what? They continue to do things that are going to help you, and it's kind of this, give and take. You can't always be taken, but it's the way the world works. There's always some give and take. It never works when you only take. But I'm trying to think where I was going. Open source. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of crazy, like, how available this kind of stuff is. Think if there's anything else I mean, Arduino is, I don't know, it's, I know what I can do. It's like, what have I not talked about? Well, I've talked about the hardware. The software is the other part of it, which is there we go. This is basically the software side of it. Fairly simple to program. Oops. But it's fairly simple. You gotta verify here. That essentially verifies that the code, there's no mistakes in the code. Well, like syntax errors, like forgetting a semicolon at the end of, and then if I had the Arduino hooked up, you could, well, I mean, quick. Okay, let me hook the Arduino up, and we can just show you what it is. It's pretty simple once you. Okay, let's open up something else. it's not going to show up. I don't want to. Well, we will get that set up, and then we will quickly change this to that. And okay, there we go. Okie dokie. And then I've got you hooked up, and then I need to let me find. There's one command that you have to run once you plug the Arduino, and it's basically just changing their permissions for the Arduino, because originally it sets up and you basically have to be root, and it's basically giving permission to my user. I'll put it in the show notes too. And then okay, and now I have permission, and now we will show you. Let me bring this up, spin this around. So you guys can see it. Okay, there you can see it. Then I will upload. Oh, oops. I'll see here. Here's a perfect example of it detecting a syntax error there. You see, it even highlights it in red there. I accidentally typed something in, didn't mean to. And so it was like, nope. There, compiled it to make sure that it didn't have any syntax errors. And now it just uploaded it. So you'll see here, my light stopped blinking. That's because it was switched to a different thing. And this one, I just spin this dial, and voila, that green one lights up. Then the white one. Then the red one. Yellow. And then they're all lit up. And basically, rather than it being automated, it's now being controlled by this little dial here. So those two ones are kind of simple ones. It's nice because I can have it set up one way and flip the code back and forth, and it doesn't really care. I can, because of the way it's configured, these two ones are laid out. They're very similar in the way they do things. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things like if we switch. Just set up these new hotkeys so I get confused on which one. Like we showed here, we can do light switches, control like an LED sign. One that isn't, it's not quite Arduino. It's it's similar. I'm sure you could probably do something similar. Let me see. It's probably, let me see if one. Where is it? I thought it was right. Okay, I thought it was here. Well, it doesn't look like I have it bookmarked. But I was looking at one where you're able to control basically use like a Raspberry Pi, where you're able to plug in these like a transmitter and a receiver and be able to control like the radio, the little like, you can buy like the cheap remote controlled outlets where you have like a remote and you can switch them on and off. Well, you can program it into your put this transmitter and receiver into your Raspberry Pi, and then you're able to basically transmit to that. And I'm pretty sure you could do something similar on an Arduino. You'd need kind of the same kind of thing. But it would work too. I mean, you'd probably write a little bit of code to be able to do it right away. Nice thing with the Raspberry Pis, they already have the code there that you can pull down and use. But yeah, that's kind of the Arduino. But yeah, Arduino, I don't know. It's just kind of like, it's one of those things where you start with a bunch of like, it's kind of like, to kind of draw an example, it's kind of like, it's like Legos for the electronics, for electronic people who like electronics, where you get like all these little pieces and you're able to kind of put them together and build, these really cool projects out of, that maybe you weren't able to do in the past. I know, Legos. I loved Legos until not as much about the specialized pieces ones, but the ones that kind of the simple pieces, but you could take them and create all kinds of cool things with. That's what a lot of these like Arduino's done. I mean, Lego's even done it some with their like robotic ones. Those are pretty cool. Although I always looked at them in the magazine and was like, that'd be really cool to have, but never had enough money to buy them. But yeah, I think it's cool when you get things like this, like kind of like things like Arduino, things like Legos, things like for me open source, things that kind of awake our imagination and kind of push us to kind of create and design new things, because I mean, creativity is awesome, and as long as we keep creating and are driving to find new ways to do things, I think that's a good thing. I mean, that's where you see things like entrepreneurs come from, that kind of an idea of finding new ways to solve problems. And like for me, I love to do that. I love to work with technology and stuff like that, but I also love to solve problems, especially for other people, and finding ways I can help them. But I mean, I just think Arduino is one of those things that when used properly, can you can use it to help help drive your imagination to kind of find new things. It's something I'm gonna be putting some work into, and exploring. I don't know if anybody has any questions in chat about it. Otherwise, I think we're a little bit of a shorter episode, but getting back into the flow of things. Been getting a bunch of things and kind of spread across several different projects and such that I'm working on. Hopefully stuff that I'll be able to come and talk to you here soon. Well, I know some of them are definitely going to make it here. I definitely know we'll be talking about the Pine 64. I know I've done a little bit of stuff with Maru OS we'll talk about here fairly soon. Should be getting a Minecraft unit here in July. So excited for that. Been playing around with some of their desktop, just loading it up on your Linux desktop, and that's been really cool to see where it is now and to kind of get an idea of where it can go in the future. I'm super excited about that. We'll definitely be talking about that, especially once I get the unit. That'll probably be pushed into August. I will say, coming in the near future in July, we're gonna be kind of hit and miss, just because my schedule is not not great for doing Friday podcasts. There's even been a couple of times where I've considered maybe changing it. I do know we probably will not be back next week. The week after that, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out my schedule. But so possibly the 15th. Keep an eye right now on petestechden.wordpress.com/live. On there, I try to keep the date accurate as to when the next show will be. Right now, it just says today, and that's because I'm not sure exactly when the next show will be. It could be on the 15th. It could be on the 29th. I know we won't have the one on the 22nd. I may... Yeah, it's just going to be busy. Through July, we'll stay Fridays. Starting in August, I may consider... I may think about maybe doing it on a different day, just because it seems like there's a fair amount of times where Fridays can be busy. I might switch to like a Wednesday. That might be a good day. Wednesday usually seems to be a little less busy. But yeah. So I guess watch that. Just keep an eye out on petestechden.wordpress.com/live, and I'll try to keep that updated. Keep exploring, keep finding ways to reuse old technology in new ways, and we'll see you back here soon. Okie dokie. Let's stop the recording. And we're going to be turning off live stream, so bye.